At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Well, I think I should be saying good morning to you.
Good morning,
and I'm speaking to Abdulaziz Hassan Sani, an opinion molder and communications expert. Good morning, and thank you very much for coming on.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Indeed.
And good morning, Nigeria.
Indeed. Good morning. Maybe I sort of switched it up a bit. Maybe I would have said good morning here first. Forgive me. Good morning to you too. What? Hope on the horizon? A bit of optimism? I'm saying all of this because it's not news anymore now. Nigerians know a thing as soon as it happens. Well, there was the first sort of face-to-face meeting in a long time of the National Economic Council, and this is chaired by the Vice President. And so I want to pick out a paragraph from the communique that sort of was released, because it summarizes everything that we'll be talking about. It summarizes the situation in the country. Indeed, it's called the security situation. That is, the release is called the security situation. Federal government, states, as well as states, recommit to swift investigation, arrest, and prosecution of crime perpetrators. This was put out by the spokesperson for to the Vice President, Laolu. Let me see here. Forgive this. Laolu Akwande. That I know the name in and out, but sometimes it happens like that. Laolu Akwande is the Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Publicity Office of the Vice President, and so he put this out. Now, Abdulaziz, let me just read one paragraph from the recommendations that sort of came about, because I think it just sort of takes up everything. Now, it says that henceforth, I'll be right with you. It says that henceforth, concerted efforts will be made towards the immediate investigation, arrest, and prosecution of all perpetrators of crimes. What's that? Of all perpetrators of crimes in the country, while both the state and federal governments would ensure the full protection of all Nigerians, wherever they reside, without regard to ethnic, religious, or regional status. It's a lovely statement. It's just unfortunate that this kind of a statement has to be made. And let me just say it again. Henceforth, concerted efforts would be made towards the immediate investigation, arrest, and prosecution of all perpetrators of crimes in the country, while both the state and federal governments would ensure that full protection of all Nigerians wherever they reside, without regard to ethnic, religious, or regional status, being taken into consideration. First of all, I'd say, yeah, that is the kind of ideal that I think everybody wants. It's a bit sorry that it has to be stated at such high fora as this, because we're talking about Nigerians. But this is the situation we find ourselves in. When it says henceforth, and talks about the speedy investigations, and it talks about wherever you come from, you commit a crime, you will be tried. Now we're saying those things. We've said a lot of similarly good-sounding things to the ears in the past, and not much has been heard of it. What do you think about this instance? Because at least you can't say they're not doing anything in the presidency.
Yeah. The henceforth here means they are going to be much more active and decisive about it.
Well, amen to
unlike before.
Well, yeah, that's the henceforth part. Before, that's the henceforth part.
When we had impunities. Impunity all over before. All sort of communal clashes all over the country. And after the clashes, you hear nothing again about it. But what is very clear here, you see, my sympathy goes to the common people of Nigeria. Because the common people of Nigeria are the people that are committed to oneness of the country. No matter what, they stick together. But this time around, I saw them raising their arms against one another. Very, very unfortunate.
And quite frankly, you know, doing something as close as is uncomfortably possible to the beating of war drums.
No, I don't see.
So much so that Abdusalami Abubakar, you know, has felt a need to speak out on this whole matter and say, watch it, compatriots.
You know what? Action begins a reaction. Something started. Let me give you a recent one in Ibadan, in the market. Something that can easily be handled. I can see the paucity of leadership of the market leadership in this issue in Ibadan. Something that can easily be handled by the market leadership of Shasha, and they allow it to skyrocket to unprecedented level. And I don't think it's right. And I see the governor in this aspect to be up and doing. And the vice president has said it all. That look, compensation should be paid. You understand? There should be reconciliation. And let us move on. Because in this world of ours, Albert Einstein has said it all. The world is not destroyed by people who do evils, but by those who watch them without saying anything or doing anything.
I hear you. Yes, let our leaders be up and doing as yet. But why this is encouraging is they seem to have, the Governors Forum in particular, having, and I'm quoting directly now, reaffirmed their commitment to national unity and pledged, among other things, to ensure the arrest and prosecution of the perpetrators of crime and to collaborate with federal authorities to reconstruct destroyed homes and pay compensations where appropriate for damage to property and livelihoods during targeted attacks on communities, as well as the unequivocal condemnation of manifestations of hatred, hate crimes, and related violence against communities.
The one that happened recently is not the first one. It has been happening all over the world.
We've been having this thing all over. We've been having it.
You see,
and it's not always in one direction.
On and on for you.
And it's not always in one direction.
It's not always in one direction. But you see, the issue now is this. The governors should not continue to lend lip services to what is happening around them. Every time there is insecurity, we call upon federal government of Nigeria. What are the state governments doing?
Well, exactly.
What are the local governments doing? All the tiers of government are drawing their monies from the federation account. And all of them have security votes to protect everybody. I don't believe in reprisal attack. I don't believe in having all sorts of nonsense. But the issue now is this. The governors, the whole box stops on their table now. You understand?
Yeah,
to have a commission inquiry, you understand? To bring the perpetrators to book, you understand? And to pay compensation. And to let the people know that, look, the money we are paying as compensation, these were the monies meant for infrastructural development, but because of what you did, we are now paying compensation with this money. So that in another time, you will never try to do anything near that.
You know, all of this, and thank you very much.
And Elijah, on both sides, there are casualties.
I was going to say...
On both sides, there are casualties.
That's what, you know, we said that it's not in one direction.
It's not in one direction.
You know,
in both sides, do you know what? The compensation will go to all of them. Both the innocent Yoruba guys, the innocent Hausa guys, and other tribes of Nigeria. It's not about being sentimental about it, no. There are many Yoruba guys that, you know, happen to be in the market that don't even know what happened. And they ended up being victims. Many Hausa people were in that market, they ended up being victims. The same thing that happened maybe in Southern Zaria, in other areas we had communal clashes. A lot of things happen like that. They should apply the same thing. And they should look for the perpetrators. The perpetrators are very few.
This statement, this resolution of the governors, and covered as it were by the president, it's relating to hate speech, and hate speech doesn't come only from one place.
Yes.
Whereas people talk about hate speech coming in one particular, hate speech is coming from all over the place.
Yes.
It's not just Southerners that are guilty of hate speech. There is hate speech coming from the north. There's hate speech coming from the south, and it can only be. I'm imagining now. It can only be an insecurity that is bringing about all of this, a feeling of insecurity, and what exactly is where does this come from? And maybe that has to be addressed. Now that they've made this statement that henceforth we intend to treat this with the seriousness and dispatch that it requires. There's a subtle admission in there that this hasn't been the way it's been in the past. We've been slack. Not that they went ahead. We've been slack.
That henceforth.
Yes. Yeah. But henceforth, we sort of resolve not to be slack anymore.
Stands for action.
Yes, it stands for action.
Yeah.
But then the only frustrating thing, as you know, Abdulaziz, is that we've heard these, resolves before. And unfortunately, different aspects of our life. No, I'm not talking in relation to this particular subject. Different aspects of our lives. That's why people are going to have to keep their fingers crossed, and it's going to probably come to what is this thing now? Communication. The herdsmen, destruction of farmlands, all of that, attitudes. It's time for an attitude shift where understanding is the foundation upon which we look at everything. I was listening to Kadaria Ahmed. I don't know where, I just saw, I saw a clip where she was saying, she just had this question for Nigerians. Kadaria Ahmed is a Nigerian journalist. She just had this question for Nigerians. So what exactly, and she was talking to the press.
Well, have you got it wrong?
Yes. Well, the press that was fanning embers say, what exactly does the press or anyone hope to gain if Nigeria were to go to war? It's a question that perhaps people need to pause and ask. Would you agree?
Yeah, well, you know what? When it comes to the media, that's my area. You see, media people represent different interests. And those interests are sacrosanct to those people reporting for those media organizations. And we have people with negative intents in the media industry. You understand? That are bent on inciting people against people. We knew the agenda. There are certain, I don't have to mention names, there are certain media houses that you know that these ones, you know what they stood for. They stood for disintegration of Nigeria. They stood for inciting one region against the other. They stood for anything negative. Never anything positive coming from their table. We knew. But here we are. Freedom of information, freedom of dissemination of information is there to protect them. You understand? And secondly, the worst part of it is the social media. The social media. They fuel a lot of crisis.
Yeah, you're right.
I saw many clips. I saw many utterances.
Too many. And, and people don't check these clips.
And the issue is this. You need to be educated to know that misinformation come from some sources.
Indeed. You know what? Let's take a clip now because the former Lieutenant General Chuka Buratai retired. He put out a sort of a warning yesterday. It's leading on the front page of the Nation this morning, but we have a clip where he was warning that, as a matter of fact, this whole insurgency thing may persist for another 20 years, he's warned. Let's take that clip.
It was another time to defend their 66 months of service to Nigeria. For these former service chiefs, appearing before the Senate is nothing new. Now before the Committee on Foreign Affairs, they explain what they have to offer on their new assigned roles. The panel is ready to go, and as expected, the question on everyone's lips is how they intend to use their new office to contribute to the nation building and the ongoing efforts to tackle insecurity in the land. The former Chief of Army Staff takes the stand and hits the nail on the head.
The truth must be told, because this thing cannot end. I predicted sometimes that it may take another 20 years, and that is the truth. Frustration is that of an asymmetric warfare. It is a complex operation. It has permeated the societies, both in Nigeria, Cameroon, Niger, and Chad. It is something that started more than 30, 40 years ago. They have penetrated the communities. They have won the communities to their side. That's why you see small hamlets, 1 or 2 people, still you see them hibernating or keeping Boko Haram in those locations. So it's a complex. So it requires a whole of government approach to deal with this.
His counterparts maintain the same position, blaming the current situation on the refusal of state governments to heed their warnings, despite several attempts.
I said then 3 years ago that our next crisis will be in the forest. Some governors were invited. We told them, because most of the forests are the prerogative of states. The states took over all the forest reserve. And I said we had to protect the forest. We had to send things to the forest to protect the forest. This 3 years ago, 2018, we did a research, and for 6 months, we did it that apart from what we're facing in the northeast, the next problem we're going to have is the forest. But again, usually until it's withdrawn right now. So it is a multifaceted approach. Everyone has to come on board for us to be able to address the security.
According to the former military chiefs, the government must begin to look inward and make developmental changes, such as providing adequate infrastructure, education and employment to solve these challenges once and for all. TJ Swadio, TVC News, Abuja.
Okay, and ending with Olorun Shakin there, saying that actually forest reserves have become bandits' havens. So it's a complex, as both gentlemen sort of indicate, it's a very complex situation. But at least, and they were insinuating in there that governors, just like you started off saying, have not been as up and doing as they could be. But well, now that the forum has come up with this statement, and it is sort of, doubled by the Economic Council, I guess we can be hopeful that there's always a new beginning, and maybe this just might be it. Let it not just be business as usual in relation to this situation on our hands.
Do you know my fear about state governors? My fear about them is this. I don't want them to turn this issue to money spinning venture. Quite okay. I want them to be serious about it. They should be up and doing about it. They should take security as their own personal babies. They should be committed, or they will end up being consumed by the insecurity. Our insecurity, this communal clash is just small out of it. It's very, very small. Something that you can take care of within 2-3 days. You have,
if there was sincerity of purpose.
You have, if there are sincerity of purpose. You understand? Even this one, for the chief of the erstwhile chief of army chiefs, army chief of army staff, saying that it will linger for the next 20 years.
Oh, okay.
It's very, very unfortunate that he is saying this now. You understand? I see no reason why we should be saying something when we are no more. The same thing happened with Arasi. the former IG of police, talking about this assigning police to VIPs, in which is an open secret.
Yes.
That special protection force within the police force is an ATM to many of them. And he was there, did not do anything.
And that reminds me, the police has also chipped in on this whole issue, saying that it's committing so many formations of theirs to work very closely with the military to ensure especially that the children from that science secondary school will be found, for example. So it's like police is also, now everybody is quite optimistic, upbeat, and
the issue is this: they will come out now and say it. You understand? When it is very fresh with us. After 2-3 days,
that's what
it will be taken over by events.
No, that's what we can't afford.
You do know the issue with them. Let me tell you one thing now. I would like each and every state governor, you understand, to forget about the monetary aspect of it. Profiteering. Forget about
the monetary aspect of it.
You understand?
Forget that.
Please, let us be committed. Look, these guys, the Boko Haram, the bandits, and what have you, are meager, very, very meager part of our population. And we should emphasize more, put much more emphasis on intelligence than deployment all over.
The police has promised.
The issue is this: we don't have enough human resources to move around. Our armed forces are overstretched. The same thing that goes with the police. What we need more is an intelligence and prompt action to follow the intelligence report. Not to have the intelligence report and dump it.
Yeah, exactly.
And for the intelligence community to be sincere with us.
So we go back to those who are leading our affairs, those, in short, our leaders that we have elected, whatever be the case, they are in place. And this function, they've not really delivered on it.
Chief of Army Staff said the Boko Haram issue will linger for the next 20 years. I beg to disagree with you.
But he also gave the reason.
Let me tell you why.
He said these people have become embedded.
No, do you know why I'm saying this? I knew. I said it here. I was here before. I said it. I said this warfare is a war without front. It's an asymmetric warfare. Right? I said it here. But what is very clear here? Kano people defeated Boko Haram. People of Kano State defeated Boko Haram because they made up their mind to fight back. And they fought Boko Haram to a standstill. Today, no more Boko Haram in Kano. It has to do with we.
The people.
The people.
Taking charge of, primary charge of our security.
Yes.
And then, as you said, local governments, and then the state governments, because everybody is saying federal government, President Buhari, President Buhari.
I heard on your view yesterday, talking about what the Minister of Defense said. You understand that immediately people had a gunshot, they started running scatter-helter. Yes, people run scatter-helter. But people should have this resolute. Okay. They should have the courage to face them.
You join him in urging us to be courageous.
The same way, Kano people fought Boko Haram to a standstill.
Good morning, Kesandu, and thank you very much for holding on. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning, our guest, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Like I've always said, nobody thinking Nigeria is comfortable with the level of insecurity in this country. And we're so tired of this talk after an event or an incident must have occurred. But look at the greatest disappointment we're having. We're still battling with the statement made by the Minister of Defense that Nigerians who do not have arms, how do we protect ourselves against people with all manner of rifles? Before we could say, Jack, the ex-chief of staff, military staff are coming to tell us some of these things because they've left office. And Bota is telling us about not getting this thing over in the next 20 years. Why are you putting fear in Nigerians when you have the capacity at some point to put a check to this? Look at what is happening in Imo State. We're witnessing the influence of military in Olu, helicopters are hovering over the place. Why can't you have these helicopters go around Kangara? Immediately that will let that this thing has happened. So we know where these our children, our brothers and sisters. Do you know the agony that some of these parents are passing through on a daily basis? I have always maintained. I think it's high time, Mr. President, give a marching order to some of these presidents. Let us utilize the powers of the president in this country. These powers are enormous. Because I don't understand, like the speaker there said, these people are infinitesimal. If you compare the population of Nigeria and these terrorists in this country, they are smaller. We can actually do this. Is somebody not telling us the truth in this country? I just feel that somebody somewhere is not telling us the truth. Because these people left Kangara school around 1 a.m., 2 a.m., killed one student, and left unchallenged to wherever they are. And we cannot even get the efforts to hover around the air to see where these people are. And all you could do is just to come there and tell. Nigerians are tired of this. These are people's children, future governors, presidents, people that are going to make impact in this country that have been taken away like this. Look at the psychological trauma it's going to have on these children.
Thank you very much for calling in, Kesandru. Really appreciate your call. And stay with us, please. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll continue with your calls.
The TVC News at 7 and the TVC News at 10 are not like any other news broadcast.
It's the Big News Hour, the hour for the big breaking stories.
We've got some of the best reporters on the field,
Taking you through as it happens.
it's fast-paced, hard-hitting,
With investigations that matter.
bringing in news that affects your life.
With sport, entertainment, and business news so you don't miss a thing.
Experience resourceful coverage with depth.
Every night.
Okay, welcome back, and join us on the conversation that we're having. Will there be a new modus operandi? We certainly need to shift the way we think about the security that is becoming worrisome to everybody. And Garba in Makurdi has been waiting to join the conversation. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Good morning to your guests over there.
Thank you very much for calling in.
You see, Uncle Yori, we have to be honest to ourselves. Government is downplaying this issue. And I totally agree with your guest there. Our governors need to stand up and be up and doing. I will ask you a question. It happens I'm from the north. I'm from Kasina, precisely. I'm just doing my business in Makurdi. That place, Kagana, Rapi local government. I know all these agrees. All these things that is happening. As a state governor, what measures you take? Which effort do you make? And you know that particular agrees over straight to being Barry, up to Zampara, and you know what is happening there. You leave step like they just school building like that. You leave student there. Let me ask him an honest question. Can he carry his child to that school as it is now? Let's be sincere and honest. That governor, can he carry his child to that school? What kind of student are you going to produce there? That's matter of fact. Forget about security issue. It exposes the roots in our educational system in Nigeria. It exposes the roots. What our governors are doing in this country. They are not helping matters. We leave everything to better government.
Okay.
But when it comes to politics, election, to make sure they carry election box there, no matter how influential places, they can go and rig election there. There is no government presence there.
Okay.
Let's honor ourselves.
Thank
We
you.
have to hold our governors accountable.
Thank you very much, Garba. Appreciate your calling in. And as you might have seen scrolling on our studio, on our screen there, breaking news, the abducted students have actually been released to Sheikh Gumi.
Yes.
There's a lot of criticism about Sheikh.
I'm aware of that.
Yes. So there's a lot of, there was a lot of talk, quite frankly, a lot of reaction to Sheikh Gumi meeting, as it were, with bandits. Yes. Now look at what's happening.
You see,
how do you read this?
My reaction to Sheikh Gumi is this. It's like what Buhari, prior to 2014, when Jonathan administration wanted Buhari to mediate between federal government and Boko Haram. Mm-hmm. And Buhari, in his wisdom, he came out and told the federal government that, look, I can't mediate with the faceless group. You understand? Gumi, I sympathize with him. You understand? He is dealing with people he knew nothing about.
But he's got results.
Let me tell you, the result for now. The governor of Kaduna has said it all. He said, how do you expect a man that struggles with 100,000 naira and now via kidnapping, making millions, you understand, to be contented to go back to his previous status of that 100,000, which is not even starting, is so real. The best way is to deal with terror.
Okay.
You don't appease terror.
Well, they deal with terror with force.
Deal with terror with terror.
With terror?
No.
Well,
what is force?
The democratic governments
can't
be seen to be engaging in terrorism.
What is the name of terror?
Okay,
what is the name of force?
I get the meaning. I get your meaning.
Good.
Yakub, good morning, sir. Mr. Yakub in Dokwemu.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning, Chief Shori, and then good morning, Haji Azan.
Good morning, Mr. Yakub.
Chief Shori, it is unfortunate that when we are in the emergency here in this country, that they give you an office to manage, and in terms of security, when you were there as a status chief, you did not tell us the truth. After you have been left the office, you are now coming out to tell us that it will take us 20 years before we can defeat Boko Haram and other security matters.
For the reasons that he gave.
What is the reason given? What is the reason? The reason given, it is not perfect from every one of us. But the issue now is that if he said that when he was in office, and then the incumbent security service chief, now can they just accept that it will take them 20 years before they can be defeated Boko Haram.
Yeah.
Now, what if we heard it's going to take us 20 years to defeat, but why are we harder for a party helicopter and to Kano helicopter and all that?
Okay.
Are we not spending our money for phones?
I hear your thoughts towards that particular sentiment, but what do you think, Yakub, quickly about the abducted students now being released to Sheikh Gumi?
See, all this is a laughable thing. Why is a laughable thing? There is some people I sympathize to all these guys. Yesterday I was saying that I disagree with Sheikh Gumi for telling us that Niger Delta struggle. It is the same thing with these people that killing students. Now, the same Sheikh Gumi, they will now release the students to him now. As Mr. Hassan already said in the video, Sheikh Gumi, if it is truly that he says that he knows these people, it is dope. He does not know them. How could you say that they should be negotiated with them?
Yeah.
Okay, are you not telling me that tomorrow now, I should be perfectly civil in order for government to negotiate with me? The federal government and the state government, they should never negotiate with these people. They should go on and make sure they clear them, because negotiate with people that are killing people. It is a amount of we are telling others to go and carry arms. That is the truth. Thank you. Good morning. God bless you, Chief Jori.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling in. So you've given us your impression of the news, no doubt cheering to their parents, their guardians, but you are saying that you're not unduly impressed and that we need to read between the lines.
Let me tell you, I'm not reading between the lines. I'm being frank. I'm not reading between the lines. I'm sympathetic with him. I sympathize with him. You understand? Trying to profile a way out. But he's dealing with people he knew nothing about. And these people,
we can't even be sure. You know, let me just let me moderate myself. I'm just hearing now that we need to be careful. We can't even be sure that it is indeed a fact that the kids have been released to Sheikh Gumi.
They can be released.
That right now it would appear, in short, we don't have the utmost clarity on it. It could be that they are still negotiating.
No, they can be released to him. You understand? For now.
Yeah, but since we scrolled it and I went and spoke about it, and we're just getting this update.
Record some success for now.
Yeah.
You understand?
But we're not even sure that has been the case.
With the situation on the ground, look, let me tell you one thing. You see, in the north, even there was something missed out in what you read out about the outcome of governors. They mentioned judiciary. in their outcomes. Do you know what's happening? If you go through the confessional statements made by bandits arrested,
yes,
you understand?
Yes.
Many of them were on bail. They were on bail. You understand? Bailed more than 3-4 times. Arrested, taken to court, bailed, come back and kidnap again, arrested, taking him to prison.
Yes.
A lawyer will check and bail lawyer.
Yes.
Will go there, bail him out, come back. How do you expect banditry, kidnapping to end?
Okay.
When you have lawyers, let me tell you, under the guise of fundamental human rights, and somebody is losing his life, many people are losing their lives or properties, and he is now hiding under that one, hiding under the fact that anybody, the contrary must be proved before you can keep him in jail for forever. You understand? The judiciary, this issue of these bandits, you understand, should be treated as a threat to national security, and they should be kept perpetually in jail.
As I come to taking the call of Haruna in Abuja, just to say again, maybe could you please just disregard for a moment that scrolling and my saying that the kids had been released to Sheikh Gumi, because we're trying to really clarify on that. It might well be that one jumped the gun, and that what is going on right now is still no more than negotiation. Whatever be the case, TVC News will bring a clarified version of the story to you. Good morning, Mr. Haruna in Abuja.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to your frank guest here.
Sure.
I like the way he's putting it out. He's being very, very frank. But quickly, I want to say, Uncle Yori, our relationship, you see, democracy, we really need assets, and the asset of democracy are people. The more people you get, if you can get people emotion, cash into their emotion, then you're going to win election. They've understood that an average common man, outside Igbo, Yoruba, they don't have problem. But they need somebody to come and tell them that they have problem, for them to really see themselves as people who actually have problem. So most of these political diseases that they start to come and catch, that's the time an outer man may say the Yoruba or Igbo is your problem. The Igbo will say, you will have progressed more than this, if not for say that you are together with the North. All those things, these are the things that really give us problem. But ordinarily, we don't have problem. So democracy starts in places where people use their brain, where their thought process is very high. And that is why it works up there. That is why even when Trump wants to use sentiment, because their thought process is very high, look the way they rally at the same America. But if that can happen in Nigeria, believe you me, we'll have Nigeria or third world country. By now we'll have been in strong war.
Indeed.
And let me digress again to the issue of this banditry, maybe to negotiate or not to negotiate with them. The thing is that we've been overstressed. Otherwise, they've been following them. We've been seen on TV. They've killed the ones they will kill. They've arrested those they will arrest. Let us not put it as if it has always been success for the banditry alone. No, our military have killed a lot. The thing is that the chief of army staff made that statement while he was in office. Except we don't want to be fair to him. He made that statement while he was in the office because of it has become an ideology. It's an industry people have cashed into. That was why he said that the thing will really take long. And me, I'm even joining my voice. He said 20 years. If you ask me, it has really come to stay. The only thing is that what any government that is coming should continue to respond harshly on them. That is what me I will tell them about that thing.
Thank you, Haruna. Thank you, Haruna, for calling in. Quite frankly, if anybody didn't know it before, we really have it's a serious and a delicate situation that we have on our hands. Not least because of the kind of communication that is going around freely. It's little more than hate speech, quite frankly, at the end of the day. And people are not discerning enough, I don't think, personally, because of the way they forward these messages. They send it further on. It doesn't arrive, and most people that are receiving these messages in the first instance are not among those who delete, what should not be forwarded.
Do you know what?
Everybody has become a publisher. And is it the likes they are craving? Is it the I broke the news first they are craving? Is it that you also heard it from me they are craving when they don't know anything about the story itself?
You see, let me say it on air now. I have a friend. Do you know what he did? He posted Fulani bandits on their motorcycles. You understand? 2, 3 of them on motorcycles. You understand? 2, 3 of them fully armed on motorcycles. You understand? And when he posted it to me, he said they have come to Oyo State. The people should be very careful. People should be on alert. They have come to Oyo State. They are doing this. They will start attacking. They will start doing this.
And this was a friend of yours?
It's a friend of mine. I now call him. When I saw it, I called him. I said, my friend, this information you are passing, look at the environment where these bandits are. Does it look like Southwest?
One moment, sir, because I've held on to Buke in Abuja. I'll return so you can complete the story. Good morning, Mr. Buke in Abuja.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. My name is Miss Buki.
Oh, Buki. I'm so sorry. If anybody had told me Buki, why would I call Buki Buki? Good morning. Thank you for coming on. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to first of all thank your guest. He's been doing very well. I've watched him in so many platforms. And quickly, I just want to tell Nigerians that this whole thing is a joke. It's business now. Bandits, terrorists, whatever we are calling it, is pure business. Nigerians have to focus and support the government, see how we can sort this out. Yesterday, one of your callers said it is business, business, business. That was 3 times. But I want to say today that what we are seeing now in the North is pure business, 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 and business. We just pray for the federal government to get hold of it and take care of that for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Buki. And you wanted to return to, for you to complete the story.
A friend of mine.
You got to the place where you said to him, does the environment resemble anywhere?
No, Southwest. That's number one. Because the only way to convince him is to apply logic. So he now have a second say no. I say this place looks Sahara, desert. And I don't think this is Southwest. He felt very, very bad about it.
Exactly.
And I told him, I said, whoever got killed because of this misinformation you sent out to the people,
he's responsible.
You are responsible for it.
Exactly.
Don't think it is that person that pulled the trigger that kills you.
Well,
you that insinuates you are the first #1 killer.
He was fortunate to be able to hear it from you.
Second one, Mr. Yori, just not up to 10 days now, a person I knew very well posted something again about Lagos. He said they are accusing herdsmen. They are doing this one. Look at what somebody imported to Tinkan Island port. Consignment of firearms. You understand? With the picture of the man. And this picture, I saw it over 4 years ago. You understand?
So misinformation, media is being used. I hear what you're saying.
The picture of the consignment,
yes.
I saw it 4 years ago.
I hear what you're saying.
I called this guy again. I told him, I said, look, you are misinforming the public. You see this picture yesterday? I saw it over 4 years ago. This consignment and this Igbo man you see. But this one, you are misinforming public. You are inciting people.
And this is what goes on.
And this is wrong. And I'm just giving you a tip of an iceberg.
Exactly. And there are many like that. I'm sure
many people there on both sides. North, west, south, east. Somebody will just wake up in the morning, send out nonsense. And whoever gets killed because of that, you are the killer.
So whereas Kaderia Ahmed was talking to the press and saying what exactly would be cane, the social media is also a major part of this, because people who aren't even professionals but can still raise one's heckles are hard at work. Mr. Femi in Surulere, good morning, sir. Thank you for holding on.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guest.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah. what people were criticizing Gumi, that he knows where they are. The federal government knows where all these people are. They know where they are. They are scared of going there to take them off. The Premier of Borno said they know where they are. The governor said they know where they are. So why are they not going there? It is came all the way from Chad to come and root them out in Nigeria, in their base there. Our own country cannot go where these people are. And we say we have a military.
I hear you.
And that's not waiting. Then the issue of the governors now saying that they want to take money again and give to the federal government. The 1 billion we gave them, let them account for it. Maybe they don't even have to account for us, but at least the National Assembly is there for them to account for the first 1 billion we gave them. What did they use it for?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. So it looks like on a national level, there's an intense need to calm down. Remember that viral video of the child telling his mother to, "Mommy, calm down." There seems to be an urgent need for us to calm down. Look at the instances you gave, and I'm sure just about every viewer out there, most of them can give similar instances where people are circulating things that they know not where they came from. One. Two, they can't vouch for the authenticity.
The implication of it.
And they don't care about the implication of it.
Some did it with ulterior motives. Look, but majority of them don't even know the implication. They just want to be, let me be the first to say. To say what? This
is the whole problem. You communicators know all about it. People are not aware. Most, I would say, such a highly sophisticated tool as WhatsApp or any of those other messaging apps, look at the way they're being turned simply because of ignorance. People can use their finger to click send, and that's all. That's all the skill they need to have, and it's a problem. It was different when before a thing could be published, it would have been seen by one editor, maybe seen by the next editor to that, and then finally it is. There were gates, so to speak. Now there are no gates. The foolish, the diabolical, and even the well-meaning, they all now have the power of publishing, and they are affecting our psyche.
Mr. Even in a formal media setup, people write whatsoever they like, and they get away with it. In the formal setting, it has to do with the proprietor of that media house.
That's
what he set out for himself to achieve. We know many media houses whose agenda is to pull down some people.
Well,
we know some media houses whose agenda is to, you understand? So we knew. So all this kind of a thing, even in the formal one, is happening. We knew.
So maybe, who are we going to talk to now? You talk to the recipients of all these messages, of all this communication to shine their eyes and be wide. Let me take Sulaiman. Sulaiman in Zamfara. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guests.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Sule.
You are really doing a beautiful job in the studio.
Thank you very much, sir.
Please, I want to ponder on the statement made by the Minister of Defense on that Nigerians should defend themselves. I'm calling from Zamfara. You all know Zamfara is the epicenter of this kidnapping and banditry. How do you expect someone to defend himself? Why these bandits come on 50 motorcycles, carrying 2 persons each, armed with AK-47 on motorcycle, numbering 50. So if you total their people, they are almost 100, attack a village, how could those people defend themselves? They will come, kill everybody, pack whatever they want to pack with impunity. On theory, some villages in Zamfara, as I'm speaking to you, cannot even sleep in their house. One is 5 o'clock, they have to go and sleep in the bush till the next morning. In fact, the case of Zamfara has become unreported. People have even forgotten about it. People are suffering. Now look at what is happening in Niger. Look at the environment. How do you expect students to be secure in such kind of environment? And the government are seeing this. The governors are seeing this. We are just complaining, Mr. President, why our governors are there sitting and virtually doing nothing.
Okay.
I don't just know. May God Almighty help us in this country.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Our government needs to stand up and deal with this issue once and for all.
Indeed.
Thank you and God bless you, Mr.
Thank you very much. Yesterday, our contributors spent quite some time. We had Dennis Amakri among others, on yesterday, and he wasn't the only one who was saying things like, "It's high time government stopped de-emphasizing the seriousness of the situation that we're in." In closing, would you subscribe to that remark?
Yes. Which government? State government or federal?
Governments generally. Quite frankly, there was the thought that they are de-emphasizing the seriousness, if you want, the hotness of the potato that we're playing with here.
What do you expect? What do you expect?
I think it's related to what people have said, that lady, especially Buki, that it's business, 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 business. She made it 4 times.
Do you know what? I have said it before. You understand? I've said it on air, on this television. I said it. I said, look, Boko Haram has become an industry. People are profiting.
So maybe
Boko Haram.
Maybe all of this conversation
and do you know what?
will make a difference.
Do you know what? When there was crisis in the Niger Delta, people were making serious money from it. When the whole thing subsided, they were not happy. The same people like me and you. You understand? So the issue is this. Let me tell you.
We got to go, but very quickly, because we got to go.
People need to be resolute and committed. Do you know why I'm saying this? The kidnapping started in Niger Delta. Let me take you down memory lane. It started from Niger Delta. From Niger Delta.
We don't have the time.
Yes, I know. From Niger Delta to southeast. But when people came out, they nip it in the bud. The same thing can happen to the whole country.
Especially in the north.
Let people in the north and southwest, everybody, all hands should be on deck.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there.
And there will be no war in Nigeria.
Thank you very much indeed. Most Nigerians will probably say an amen to that. Thank you very much, Abdulaziz Hassan Sani, opinion molder and communications expert. Thank you very much for coming on. That indeed is our program today. We'll have a fresh edition, God willing, for you on Monday. In the meantime, please do everything you can to observe anti-COVID-19 protocols. Distancing 6 feet. Don't go to where there are crowds. Wash your hands as frequently as possible, and mask. Apart from all of that, have a great weekend. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.